It says that I'm live, so I hope that you can see me and hear me just fine. So we have some people here today. Good, good. So Miss Pagan is here clapping her hands and says, "We had our first show of the season last night. What show was that? Pumpkin show?" Tell me. Well, I would like to go to a duck show. That would be super cool. I don't think it's a duck show though. Maybe I'm just totally not understanding what you're saying. Snow! I love snow because I love skiing. I don't like the cold, but I like snow. Oh, no pumpkin shows. That's a shame. And Miss Paprika is here. Hello, hello. Okay, so I'm going to start with, while people are actually finding the way over here, I'm going to start with answering a few questions from the Facebook group. So let me see if I can share that screen somehow. Share screen. Just have to find it. I think this should be it. And feel free to post your questions if you have any. Or talk about the snow, making snow angels or whatever. Right. So here we go. Okay, so I asked if there were any questions for me, and I had two, one from Kathy and one from Miss Paprika. So let's start with Kathy. It's a lot in there, but anyhow, thoughts about exposure to sunshine, grounding, tapping, red light therapy to help with mood associated with emotional eating and cravings. Um, my take on cravings is that there might be things that are helping because they are helping you in general to feel better, or maybe lessen inflammation or make you less tired, as in giving you more energy or whatever that might be. And that might help with your cravings and making them less severe. However, it doesn't cure or treat the thing behind those cravings, which are almost always, if you can't cure it with just changing your diet, it's almost always an emotional thing, unless you have a psychological thing going on, like binge eating disorder or bulimia or something like that, in which case that would need to be treated in a different way, maybe. And you can also use what I'm using. So it's not one thing or the other. I think they can work together, and I think you can probably get better results doing it that way. Um, I mean, sunshine is good for so many things, and if you're in a better mood and you're feeling more relaxed, yes, that can help. Um, Grounding, I mean, that will lessen your inflammation. Good. Will it have an effect, direct effect on the cravings? I doubt it, but I might be wrong. I don't actually know. Tapping is just another way of, I mean, I'm not an expert on tapping, but it is a way of tricking your nervous system and getting you into, building a different neural pathway. Like, this is what is feeling relaxing to me, and this is working, and this is something that I can do. That can absolutely work. But at the same time, I think that tapping on its own is not going to take away any cravings. It will distract you from them in the moment. So I still think that anyone who's doing these things, they need to learn how to handle the cravings, because if you don't remember to tap, or you don't remember to be out in the sunshine, or maybe you don't even have any sunshine, it's like, what do you do then? Then you're effed. So we want to kind of address the root problem rather than just finding other ways of distracting ourselves or hoping that the cravings will go away. But as you say, if it's completely mood associated, yes, those things can help. So Ms. Paprika says, how long did it take you to get to a point where you didn't slip again? I'm trying to think. When I don't need this anymore. I can stop sharing that and go on the big screen. When I learned how to be in control, I was kind of slipping every now and then, more in the beginning, obviously. But I didn't slip necessarily in the terms that I would go on a long binge. I would slip in terms of not following my plan. Maybe eating more than I said I was going to eat because I bought more than I said that I was going to eat. Because if I want to have a little bit of ice cream and I just want to have 3 spoons, then I have a whole tub of ice cream in the freezer. Maybe I would just like, well, it's already here, so I may as well eat it all. That kind of thinking. Um, so it depends on what you mean with slip and if you count that as a slip, because I was eating on plan, the thing that I planned to eat, but I didn't eat the amount that I was supposed to eat, and not necessarily for the duration that I had decided. So if I had decided I'm going to eat this, I'm free for all an hour after dinner, and then I would just eat until it was gone, whether that took 1 hour or 3 hours. So in terms of that, that was probably the hardest thing for me to overcome because my brain wanted to do that. So that was something that I had to consciously practice. But trying to think, like, when was my last slip up? I'm not really sure. It might have taken a year until I had my last slip up, but there have also been, like, I'm gonna have a week where I'm not gonna care because it's Christmas or whatever. And during that week, is that a slip up or was that a choice? I'm not really sure because it was a choice, but it was probably a choice coming from a place of I really don't want to deal with this anymore, which isn't the best place to come from. So that could, if you mean slip up. If slip up just means being completely out of control, it didn't take long at all. Probably took a few months maybe before I kind of taught myself the lesson that this is not really how I should be using these tools, like intermittently just using them and then falling off the wagon and just indulging in my own distress and eating lots of ice cream and whatever. Um, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Good afternoon, Dadya. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Hello, Kathy. Love, light, and meat. Yes. How are you today, girl? Are you feeling better? Uh, yes, there are many tabs open in my browser. My dear boyfriend always says, "Why do you have so many tabs open?" And it's because I can't close them because I think I'm going to check that, I'm going to read that, and I want this page open because I need to remember to do that. And then I just leave them open and I don't get to it half of the time. So that is true. Kathy, thank you for answering my question, Pim. So nice to break those options down and address the root problem. Yeah. I mean, all of those options are viable options and they're probably really good for you, all of them in their own right. So I don't say don't do them, absolutely do them. But first, address the root problem as well. And don't hope that something else, because, going out in the sun or doing some tapping or grounding, tapping is active and it's something that you need to remember to do. But the other two is more like, if I've just put myself in this environment and the cravings can go away, that is brilliant. I'll just do that because it's an easy way out. Doesn't mean that those things are not good for you. So keep doing them. Yeah, no, no sunshine here. We have had some sunshine. It's still really cold at night. So I'm waking up in the morning and I'm semi cold. And then during the day it gets really hot now. So my body's trying to adjust to that, and I had a couple of days where I've been so hot throughout the day, you have no idea. And yeah, I wish I had set up the pool outside. We have like quite a large inflatable pool that you can fill with water. It's almost like a pouch, but it's probably going to be too cold to hop in it. But cold thermogenesis is good for you. Plenty of sunshine here, but I can't live outside. No, we wouldn't want it to be outside all the time. I have journaled, sat with my feelings, and I am feeling well today. Yay, Kathy! I'm so glad. That's so awesome. And that was the end of the live stream because we have no more questions. I'm just joking, but post your questions because there haven't been many questions today. And that's beautiful. And since we're talking about journaling, I just want to mention that as well for all of you who are here who are working on quitting the carbs. Journaling is invaluable because it will give you a different perspective. It will let you look back through what happened during the last week. And often we forget about the good moments, the moments where we managed to sit with the cravings and where we did feel relief after doing it. Whereas if you don't do that, you're just going to forget about it. And the only thing that your brain is going to want you to focus on is the negative, where you failed or where you tried to sit with the craving and then you gave in. So it's a super helpful tool to use. And I've said it before, but I have had clients who say that, yeah, sure, I can keep a journal, and then they're very resistant to doing it. And they end up not doing it, which is fine. That's completely up to them. They can do it whatever way they want. When I have clients who do use a journal, in general, not everyone, but most of them, they are able to quit very, very quickly because they get this different perspective and they get to see what is happening in their brains and they have it on paper, so it's really easy to just read back, and then they have realizations about something that happened several days ago when they read it back. Whereas if you're just trying to work from memory, you're going to forget all about, half of it at least. You think that you might be able to remember it, but you won't. I can promise you that. Oh my god, you wrote a book last night? A whole book. That's so cool. Yeah, I don't think I've said that, but I don't know if Alex said that, but Alex is actually writing a book right now. That would be interesting to read. I read his introduction or something, and yeah, he's that's his thing. Like he should be writing books. I think he's really good at it. He's so good with his language, not like me. I speak baby English. Sorry, I'm scrubbing dishes. I've been trying to get my cravings back under control. I'm eating way too many grains lately. Grains of all things. Do you actually have grain cravings, or is it more like the processed type of grains like cereal and stuff like that? What is it that you're eating? And why do you think that you're eating them? I know that you're pregnant and that I have never been pregnant, so I don't really know how compulsive those cravings can feel, but what do you think it is that is driving you to eat those grains? I'm just curious. Sorry for taking you away from scrubbing dishes. I'm just want to know. Where are my questions, people? Or do you want to talk about something else? We can talk about something else. But it's going to be a short stream if we have no questions. What I could talk about though is that I have a new challenge coming up very soon, starting on the 21st of November. So it's another 7-day long Master Your Carb Cravings challenge. And I'm going live every day. I'm teaching you a little bit about different things. It will be, if you have taken part before and you didn't finish it or you were too busy or whatever, you can join again. That's not a problem. You can sign up at pimjohnson.com/slash challenge. And in there, there are some videos there already that you can watch that will just help you before we get started. And then we go through all of the week, and you will have homework that you can do. And when you start implementing all of that, you will just have a really good base to stand on when you start dealing with your cravings. So you will feel like you have a reason for why you're doing it, and you will know what it is that is in your way and why you would not want to do it, because this is super important. Like, we have all of these thoughts that we're not necessarily paying attention to, but if you're still eating carbs, there is a reason for that, and usually we get some sort of benefit from it. For some people, it's just the instant gratification of doing it, like feeling good in the moment, but there's often a lot more behind that. It might be that it's relaxing you, or it just makes you feel like this is how I can connect with my friends, or whatever it might be. And all of those things where you can bring that to your awareness, you can actually do something about it. But as long as it's just back in your head and it's percolating there, there's not a lot you can do about it if you don't know that you're thinking those thoughts. Oats and fresh made bread. Yeah, fresh made bread is nice. I'm not so sure about the oats. In Sweden, we have something we call like, I don't even want to say it because you're gonna laugh, chocolate balls, I suppose. And it's just like oats, sugar, cocoa powder, and butter, lots of butter. And sometimes we put some coffee or vanilla in. I've grown up with having coffee, and you just roll it in what's it called? When I was a kid, we had we call it like pearl sugar. So it's like round bits of sugar, but you can roll it in coconuts as well. Um, and it's delicious. That's the only way I want to eat oats. And I haven't done that for a very long time, but I still remember them, and I'm having that's like an emotional connection, something that I remember from my childhood that I really loved, and it was simple to do. So it was probably one of the first things that I baked ever. Yeah, fresh baked bread smells so wonderful, but nope, nope, nope from me. Yeah, it does smell wonderful. May I shoot my colleague to the moon? Yes, you may. He screwed my whole plan to prevent stress at work by being an asshole. He's being the asshole he is, while everything is already stressful enough. Just kidding, kind of. Miss Paprika, other people cannot stress you out. Only your thoughts about what they're doing is stressing you out. I'm gonna be the evil coach now. But yeah, you might shoot him to the moon. It's okay. Speaking of compulsivity, do you think OCD plays a part in cheat meals? That's a very interesting question. Um, I think if someone is thinking that cheat meals are somehow good and they should be part of the diet, then absolutely. I'm not sure if I think OCD on its own would play a part in cheat meals because cheat meals are something, unless you mean something different than what I'm thinking that they are. Cheat meals are usually something that you decide that you're going to do maybe once a week or whatever. And then that's just part of the plan. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing. The bad thing is probably that your body isn't responding well to it. But in terms of cravings, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like it doesn't have to build on those cravings and making them worse by strengthening that neural pathway because you can do it if you plan for it, you do it in a way where it doesn't. Um, People that do have OCD, though, if they get something into their head, like this is how it should be and this is what it should look like, and somehow they think that I'm going to need a cheat meal, whether they need it or not, they're probably going to want to eat it just because that's what's supposed to happen. Um, I'm thinking that people with OCD in general, probably not everyone, but in general, probably have a very strong opinions about a lot of things. And one of those things can be like the resistance to actually making the change. And that could be part of the OCD. So if that's the case, yes, then that might also play a role. Which would, I mean, I could probably talk and think about that for an hour or so, because that's quite an interesting perspective. If you have like, oh, you have posted more. As in the ritualistic or compulsive desire for the one last cheat meal before getting serious on a diet. Okay, that was more specific. Could be, but I don't think that that is necessarily the case because I think most people who want to quit have this, and I don't think everyone has OCD. I think that is probably more of a battle between what you want to do and what your lower part of the brain wants to do. It's like I want to quit. I definitely want to quit. But your low part of the brain is going to be like, yeah, let's just have one more meal because then we can at least feel good while we're thinking about this because quitting is not going to feel good. So we just want to load up on the feel good feelings. Okay. I've eaten so many bad cheat foods, I'm to the point the healthy stuff is off-putting. Yeah, I know that feeling. So, what do you do then? I have ideas. But like just getting back on track, it could just be like always start out with a good meal. And then if you are, when you finish the amount that you're supposed to have, maybe you can allow yourself to have some of the stuff that you're not supposed to have while you're getting used to it. Maybe. Yeah, like no bake cookies, almost. But if you bake them, they would probably just be a mess because it's mostly just butter. There's no flour or anything that binds it together. But they're really nice. I used to make Liège waffles with pearl sugar. Oh, so it is called pearl sugar in English then. It's like crack, yeah. Oh, well, thank you. A super chat. I think. Otherwise it wouldn't be blue. $2. Yes, there we go. Peanut butter taro. Thank you so much. No question though. Where's the question? Oh. Your comments are visible in my chat. Stupid YouTube, don't go to jail today. That's very, very strange. Is that the same that we had the problem on Bart's live stream last weekend? We didn't have any questions coming in. Oh, we had some, but usually we're like 15, 20, sometimes almost half an hour late in when we're like half an hour into the show or something. And I was up to date the whole time because YouTube didn't post them and people got pissed off. We got pissed off. Everyone got pissed off because there were no. It's very frustrating if you post like a question and then you just disappear. And it didn't just happen for one person, it happened for a lot of people, which is super frustrating. So I hope that is not the case here. No question. Okay, that's fine. I'll take your $2. Thank you. Here we go. My whole family has been following your advice. Results have been extraordinary. Thank you. You're welcome. That's so good. I love it. Look, a whole family is doing it. That's awesome. You are welcome. I hope it helped. Kathy, yes, Pim. Now I can see her tagged comments back to me. Okay, cool. No drama then. Don't scare me. Maybe, but sometimes I get shadow banned in other chats too. Maybe I'm just a nasty vegetable. Lol. Yeah, you have to change your name to, I don't know, Schnitzel. I have no idea. Kathy, I am wondering if it has to do with the new YouTube handles. I wonder if he has changed that because I haven't, and I get like weekly emails for they want me to do it or something. I don't know. I haven't even opened them. I don't have time to read that bullshit. I might do it one day. I know that I have like my whole inbox is full of those. So I know where to find the information if I need it. What advice do you have for social resistance to a low carb diet? Friends and family and work colleagues. So when you say social resistance, is that for you or for them? Just clarify that a little bit for me, and I'll come back to you. There's one more comment after you so I can hop to for now. YouTube acts like I'm brand new here. I have been on YouTube for years. How does YouTube act when you're brand new? I'm just curious. What does it do? So I'll jump back to this meanwhile and hope that you will clarify a little bit for me. So social resistance to a low carb diet. So if it's about you and you are feeling like I don't want to eat low carb when I'm around other people that wants me to eat doesn't want me to eat low carb, then it's just about like why are you doing that? Because if other people don't want you to eat a certain way, it's none of their business. So why are you choosing to do it just to please them? What do you think would happen if you weren't doing it? So if you stay with your low carb diet and they disapprove, what would happen then? What is it that your nervous system is scared of? Right, okay. Here's It's other people making the diet difficult by pressuring or judging you for doing the diet. Yes, okay, so I was on the right track. Good. Um, because most of the time it's just a matter of like I don't want them to think certain things about me. I don't want them to think that I'm an idiot or that I think that I'm better than them because I eat this way or whatever it might be. It might be something like that that is getting you to a place where you are willing to sacrifice your health to do what they want you to do so that they can like you and then that will feel better. So you're unwilling to put yourself in a situation where you feel uncomfortable because they will have thoughts about you. Newsflash, they will have thoughts about you either way. And no matter what you do, you can't please everyone. So you may as well do what feels better for you. Why do you want to be low carb? Like, how important is it to you? Do you have a good reason for why you want to be low carb? If you have a really good reason for why you want to be low carb, then just connect with that reason. Find that reason and think when they're saying things like, well, you really should have a cookie here or whatever. You're like, actually, this is my underlying reason. This is why I want to eat this way. And feel it. If you don't feel it, it's not going to help you. So if it's just like, I want to lose weight, like, well, I can lose weight tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to eat anything tonight. Doesn't matter. But if your reason is like, this is the person who I want to be, and to be able to be that person who does whatever you want to do, maybe you want to be, I don't know, a professional athlete, or maybe you just want to help other people doing the same thing. You want to show them what they can achieve when they're doing this diet, or you want to reverse your diabetes. None of that is going to be helpful. Like if you go and eat their cookies because they want you to eat cookies, and then you're not going to feel very good, like physiologically or mentally. So just try to find a reason that you feel like you're emotionally connected to, and then draw on that when you need the strength to just be like, hey, this is just how I'm eating. There's nothing wrong with eating low carb. I like eating this way because my body feels really good. Or I love eating this way because I have reversed my diabetes and now I'm healthy. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. Being healthy and feeling good about it is so much more important to me than what other people are thinking about me for eating this way. It's fine if they judge my diet. I don't give a shit. Why do you give a shit? Like explore that a little bit because there is something behind there, something that you want to avoid, and it's most likely one of the things I already mentioned or a variation of that. I keep getting messages in live chats to be friendly, etc. I know the YouTube rules, so it's telling me things like I'm new to this. Okay, interesting. I've never seen that. Oh, that's so funny. Did you ever try pemmican and did you buy it or make it yourself? Yes, I tried to make it once and it was vile. I didn't put any fruit and stuff in there. It was just like meat and fat and some spices and salt. And I'm never gonna do that again. I might try it if I buy it, but I'm never gonna make that again. The dogs didn't mind though, but I couldn't give them too much of it because there was a lot of salt in there. Um, yeah, I just don't like. I put like beef fat in, and it tasted of beef fat, and I don't like cold beef fat like that. It's just horrible. So no, not doing that again. Um, you mean at the start of the chat and when you refresh the page? If yes, I think that's just a usual info in every chat, regardless how new or old one's account is. I might have to start paying attention better because I'm just like joining chats and I don't read anything and I just read other people's comments. Right. Thanks. So I will explore why I want to do this diet and make that a louder thought than the fear of judgment. Yeah. And also ask yourself, like, what if they judge you? What's the worst thing that's going to happen if they judge you? And what does that say about you? Probably absolutely nothing. Maybe it tells you that you're doing something that they would never dare do. Maybe you're more courageous than them. Maybe it's just their fear or their thoughts about themselves when you're eating something that is healthy. And they're like, I mean, I should be healthy as well, but if I ruin it for them, then that will feel better for me. There might be something like that behind it. People don't like when you stick out, especially not if you do it and you're somehow better than them. Like you're eating better or you're taking better care of yourself. Things that people in general struggle with. If you do it and they see it, they're like, it can go several ways. Some people will be like, oh my God, I could never do that. You're so good. Like, I envy you. And it's like, just do it yourself. Or they might be, oh, you bastard. They won't tell you to face that. They will think that in their heads. You bastard. Why can you do this and I can't? I'm actually better than you. So let's see if I can get you to eat some cookies. And that's not exactly what they're thinking out loud or what they're even aware of, but that's what's coming out and that's the behavior that comes out because they're jealous. They wish that they could do things like that. So when you can realize that it's about them and their worldview, it's just about their thoughts. That's why they behave how they behave. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. And then you picking up on that and you having thoughts about what they're doing or saying or how they behave, and you think, oh, I should be doing this. But you can choose to just think something different. You're like, yeah, they want me to do this with them because it makes them feel better, but it's not going to make me feel better. And I need to take care of myself. That's a lot more important. Yeah, I tell them that I can't eat that. It's making me sick. Yep, you can do that too. Or choose better language like, I don't want to eat that. Or I don't eat that because it doesn't make me feel good. Rather than I can't eat that, but that because can't indicates that there is a bit of like you're forced into doing it. Like you do want to do it, but you can't do it because then you will feel sick. So it's better to choose other language because your brain is unconsciously going to pick up on the language. So no, I just don't eat that. It's like there's no discussion. I don't eat that. Then what are they going to say? Oh, come on, have a cookie. Like, no, I don't eat that. What would you do if that was a pile of celery? Like, no, I don't eat that. Oh, come on, have some celery. And you're like, no, you wouldn't even entertain the thought. But unconsciously, you do want the cookies. So you're going to entertain that thought. And then you're like, well, and if I don't, they're going to think all of these things. So it's just easy to do it. But would it be easy for you to just eat celery? Probably not, because you wouldn't give a shit what they thought about you if you said no to the celery. Why is fruit bad? Fruit is full of sugar. It's as easy as that. Fruit has maybe some anti-nutrients of some kind, but not a lot, not like vegetables. But it's mainly the fruit, mainly the fruit. It's mainly the sugar. So you have fructose and you have sucrose. The fruits nowadays are made to be very sweet because that's how we like them. Are they super bad? Depends on what you want to achieve. I I don't like judging food, like bad foods and good foods necessarily, but yeah, they do contain a lot of sugar, and a lot of sugar isn't good for you. I tell others I don't eat poison. I don't care what they think, to be honest. Yeah, I mean that's a way of doing it. But if you want to be a bit more subtle, you don't have to explain anything. You're just like, I don't eat that, and that's it. It's none of their business. It's like they will offer you some crack in the office, and you're like, I don't do crack. Why would you have to explain that? You wouldn't, because it's something that society has taught us that crack isn't good. But society is also teaching us that cookies can be part of a balanced diet, so they aren't bad. And that's where it's coming from. We're so brainwashed by society to think certain things, whether we know they are true or not. They're just back. They are in your. You really have been brainwashed. So even if you know better, that's going to be on your mind. It's like, well, everyone else is doing it, and they're not dying, so maybe I can do it. rather than crack is like, oh no, everyone says that that's really bad. I'm not gonna do that. And then it's easy to not do it unless you're an ex-crack addict. I find that family and friends watch what I eat, but they don't say things now. They know I will tell them. Yeah. So why not? That's what you want. Like they can watch you and they can watch you just transforming your health and how good you feel and how content you are with your diet. Maybe that will make them think at some point. Maybe that will make them curious to try it themselves. Like, well, Kathy lost a lot of weight and she's like radiating health. I want to do that. I wonder maybe I should try that. Sometimes it works. If someone says to me, "Come on, eat XYZ," I automatically answer, "Eat it yourself." Yeah, that's something that I could have said in the past, probably. Like, what? You eat it. You know what? So, my dear boyfriend, who likes to cheat every now and then, especially when he's drinking alcohol, wasn't that long ago, but he had a fucking packet of cookies, and he's like, "Here, have one." I'm like, "No." Why would I? I was like, well, why do you even ask me? He's like, oh, it would be rude to not ask. I'm like, would it really? So yeah, he was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, if I want it, I'm gonna take it. Like, if you have a packet of cookies and I want them, I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna go and eat them. Like, you know me. That's what I'm gonna do. But still, it's like, you have one. And I don't know what's going on in his mind. If it's like, well, I'm falling off the wagon here, so you have to come with me, or if it really was because he feels like it would be rude to not ask, or if it's just totally unconsciousness and just asking for the sake of it. I don't know why he's asking. I'm like, I haven't touched sugar since New Year's Eve. I'm not going to touch it now. Oh, okay. It's kind of funny, and I can laugh about it, and I can laugh about it in the moment because I'm not even tempted by it. And I understand that when you're tempted by it, it can feel really difficult, but you just need to get to a place where you're not even tempted by it anymore. It's just so much easier. And it's kind of funny. So I think it's likely that others want us to indulge with them because deep down they know that they shouldn't eat this shit, but they want to normalize their behavior and avoid reality that it's injuring them. Yeah, absolutely. People, it's like if you don't do what the group is doing, you will feel really uncomfortable because that means that you're not part of the group anymore. And back in the days, that could have meant death. You would have been expelled from your little village or whatever, or from your clan, and kicked out, and then you'll be on your own. And that's really terrifying. Like your chances of survival would have gone down a lot if that had happened. But your nervous system is still going to, like your primitive part of the brain still experience that as the same kind of threat. But it isn't a threat in our society nowadays. So we just need to take back control in these moments and realize that this is totally unfounded. It's a fear based on the nervous system and something that is sort of genetic. It's not a real fear. It's not, there is no real danger. But it's the same thing when you have a group of people and someone is not doing it. The group of people might be really uncomfortable because you're not doing it, and they might feel really bad because they feel like you're not part of the group and they haven't made the effort to try and make you part of the group, and they don't want you to, not be part of the group because it's just uncomfortable. If you just see that one person that isn't, doing what everyone else is doing, you're like, oh, what's wrong? Because that's what the brain is looking for. What's wrong? I need to help them. Here, have a cookie. Take your place here in the group. Eat some cookies. Have fun with us, or the cookie eaters. Oh, he just wanted to share his prey with you. Yeah. But this is funny. So he's drinking alcohol. He never offers me any alcohol because he knows that I don't drink alcohol. But he offers me cookies because in the past I would probably have had a cookie. Even if I haven't done it for months and months, it's like we are 10 and a half months in. since I ate anything with sugar in, if you don't count, sugar in yogurt or whatever. Actually, I think I missed James. I'm coming back to your question. I think I missed it. Um, why does he do that? Because his brain is like, this is an opportunity probably to try and get Pim to do what I'm doing. And then I will have someone with me in the ditch. And I'm like, nope, not happening. Classic addict behavior. Yeah. So he has a very addictive personality. There's always something. Is carnivore better than keto? Depends on the person. Like, I know people who have autoimmune diseases or other things going on, and I always bring up Emily Penton as an example because she had MS and bipolar. She had to go on a carnivore diet, and she has to get like the best quality meats. If she goes to the supermarket, even if she picks up like an organic steak, it might still not be of the quality that she needs, and she will get a flare up, or at least she used to. I think she's a lot better now because she's had more time to heal. For me, I can't do carnivore because I don't feel good on carnivore. I get headaches, I get fatigue, and I get migraines. And we're talking daily headaches. I'm not talking like every now and then. They are daily and they hang in there and they don't go away. I had daily headaches for 6 weeks when I was stubborn about trying to do 90-day carnivore and not going off. What happened? It took me a month to get back to feeling somewhat normal. And that was not fun. I was like, life is not worth living if I'm gonna live with this pain and the brain fog and having to sleep 2 hours per day. It's just crazy. It's not worth it to me. I believe that carnivore is probably the the species appropriate diet for humans. Having said that, I'm 45 years old. I have had many years accumulating metabolic damage. If I had been fed a carnivore diet from when I was little, I would probably be fine on it. But that's not the case. I have had other things going on in my life, and now I can't tolerate that for whatever reason that is. I don't know what the reason is, and I would like to know what the reason is, but then I might be able to fix it, and I'm gonna keep trying. And I'm carnivore on some days, maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 even sometimes days per week. And on the other days, I need to eat 30, 40, 50 grams of carbs maybe to get rid of a headache or to stay headache free. I have learned how to read the signs and I can feel the difference between different headaches. I have like hormonal headaches, which I don't have too much of right now. And I have the headaches I get when I'm on zero carb for too long. And those are really strange because they are like on top of the head headaches. Whereas the hormonal ones are usually the ones that can turn into migraines and they're one-sided always. It's very different and I can tell which is what. So I got that much awareness, but I still don't know what is causing it or why I would get that way. Because there's nothing wrong with my ketone production. I have a lot of ketones all the time. Not too much, I don't think, like 1.5 up to 1.8, something like that. Even if I eat carbs, even if I have sweet potato, my ketones will go down to maybe zero point 0.8 right after that, maybe zero point 0.5, and then the next morning they're up again to 1.7 or something. Thank you very much for your very kind super chat, and you're more than welcome. I'll share everything I know. I don't know everything, but I will tell you when I don't know. And sometimes I will make an educated guess, but I will let you know. And I think like I wasn't quite finished actually. I wanted to say another thing about this. So I think like depending on who you are and what your goals are, what you want to achieve, and how you feel when you're doing the different diets, I think you should stick with that. But I do think that a carnivore diet is probably the better diet in terms of the foods that you're eating. But I don't think that it's better for everyone to eat that way because we have previous metabolic damage and we need to take care of that. So I would say like try it, try both, see which one makes you feel better and just do that. We don't have to be so uptight about it. I mean, I'm probably maybe 95% carnivore, but I cannot be 100% carnivore, not right now. And I'm cool with that. I would like to, because it's very, very simple and it's very easy to do. And I don't have to think about, like, do I have any sweet potatoes? Do I need to order them? Or sometimes it's like, I haven't eaten any sweet potatoes for a while. I'm like, oh my God, they're going all wrinkly. And then I can't eat them. So now I have to eat them before I get a headache. I can get those kind of obsessive thoughts that I should be eating it just so that it doesn't go off because I don't like throwing food away. But that's a completely different problem. But it would just be nice to not have to do that. Um, threaten him with Ted. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe that works. He'll probably tell me that was Ted's idea or something like that, because we know what Ted is like. Do you think you just still need to heal something in your body and maybe sometime in the future you could be able to eat carnivore? I hope so. Um, I definitely do. I mean, I need to heal something, and I definitely need to heal my sinuses, and I still haven't managed to get something to work for me. Um, I I don't think she actually knows, but when I've been interviewing Sally Kay Norton, she can't do carnivore either. And it's not necessarily for the dumping, because she's not dumping anymore, I don't believe, but because she gets really fatigued, and she has a theory that oxalates have damaged her mitochondria, and that is something that she needs to heal. And she says that she's better now, but it's like a very slow journey. I don't know. Maybe I have some mitochondrial issues, some problem with the actual energy production, because clearly I have I have sufficient blood sugar, I have sufficient um, ketones for me to not be fatigued, and still I am fatigued. So what's going on there? Plus the headaches, like, are they related to the fatigue? Maybe, maybe not. They might be on the same track because they appear at the same time, although the headaches probably appear earlier than the fatigue, and they stay a little bit longer. Have you ever sprouted an old sweet potato? You can easily grow them in a pot and make an attractive plant, much like ivy. Yes, I had one out here, and I got some that I planted out there now, but they need a lot of space, so I only have 12 planted, and still have probably 25, 30 growing in bottles and stuff. Might try to give them to my neighbors or something. I don't know what to do with them. I don't want to throw them away. I'm like, they're my babies. So yes, I will have some. Hopefully, have some sweet potatoes in autumn. What benefits have you noticed since quitting sugar and most carbs? That's quite interesting, because I used to feel really energetic being keto, especially if I was doing cyclical ketogenic diet, and that might be related to, like, the carb problem that I'm noticing now. It's just that I didn't know that I had it at the time, because I was always refueling with some carbs at some point, like once a week or something. Um, so I used to have a lot of energy. I don't really have that right now. I'm not unenergetic, but I'm definitely not as energetic as I used to be, like 15, 20 years ago when I was just doing keto. So maybe that's also indicative of, like, mitochondrial damage that has progressed over the last 15, 20 years or something. I have no idea. Or maybe it is that I'm exercising a lot less nowadays. And when I do exercise, it's a different kind, and probably, well, partially. I exercise less frequently, and I exercise for less duration when I'm exercising now than I used to do. So that might play a part as well. So maybe I have to start doing that more. It's just that I wouldn't go to a gym here, because I would have to drive like an hour to get to the gym. And nope. I have a boxing bag and I have kettlebells. So that's usually what I'm doing. Or some lunges when I'm walking the dogs or something like that. Pre-cook the sweet potatoes and freeze them in portions so you never run out. Okay, that's interesting. I like to roast them in the oven though, so they get like crispy. It's almost like eating crisp bread when you put lots of salt and butter on. Um, so when you say pre-cook, would you put them in the oven and actually bake them, or would you do something else with them? I like making like sweet potato chips. They're really nice, but it's too much work. That's why roasting them is just like toss it in, leave it for an hour or a little bit more, and then I just eat it. What's a good cut for barbecue beef or pulled beef? We just got beef again. For barbecue beef, I mean, I like barbecuing anything that has some type of fat on it. If it doesn't have any fat on it, I think it's getting very dry. Um, Pulled beef. I'm not sure what cut you would use for pulled beef. I would just take any like cheap cut probably you can use it with. Anything that is like tough and you just put in a slow cooker or a pressure cooker or whatever you have. But you're cooking a lot, aren't you? You should know this just as well as I do. I have never made pulled beef. I've only made pulled pork, which is nice. Is it difficult to do a low carb diet in New Zealand? No, not at all. Why would it be difficult? Because all you need is literally meat and fat. And then if you do eat vegetables, there are vegetables everywhere. I don't do actually I did something as an experiment, and I have already recorded it. But I ordered lots of pork cracklings online, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna do a thing on like bloody keto treats and blood sugar. So I was measuring my blood sugar after eating those, and I have some comments on my cravings as well. And if you do that, I mean, as I said, that's a what do you call it, low carb haven, I think, and they have lots of keto stuff. I just went there for the pork cracklings. So I have my cupboard full of pork cracklings, but that's quite easy to find. And I think they have even in the supermarkets, they have all sorts of keto stuff. So if you're into that sort of thing, it's very easy to do. Yes, you can bake them and reheat them in the oven for the crispiness. Well, that's good to know that I can actually freeze them because I will be a little bit worried about freezing them if they got like really like watery and strange. Yeah, I can see the brisket would be a good paste to do it with. I do cook a lot, but my last roast was tough as fuck. Might just have been that cow because it was a chuck roast. Yeah, could be. I don't really like roast beef. Let me take that back. I like roast beef when it's kind of just cooked, but eating like cold roast beef, bleh, that's just dry and yucky to me. And if it's tough on top of that, don't want to do it. But I can imagine that a cut like that, you can probably, pressure cook it or slow cook it, whatever you have. I just have a slow cooker. And the thing with me is that I don't like cooked meat that much. I like it rare or blue or raw. So when you cook anything in a slow cooker or anything like roasting it, it's like I can eat it, but my appetite for it is not huge. I'm gonna go dig through the freezer then. Meal planning is one of my biggest downfalls. All right, so we have a solution for you. Easy. Brisket, yummy. You know what? So I cooked brisket a few times, and it's the same thing. It's just like it tastes very stewy to me. So if I'm eating brisket, I have to eat it with like tons of barbecue sauce, and then I'm just eating it for the sweetness of it. Like it's the barbecue sauce that I want, and the brisket is just there to give me the nutrition, and I need to kind of cover it up to be able to eat it, and then it feels like, why am I doing this? This is, you know, not something that I want to do. And it's the same thing. I have like lamb legs in the freezer, and sometimes I just cook it for my partner, and I don't even eat it because I don't like it that much. It's just too cooked for me. Hello, Vicky. You're very late. We are about to finish up here. But it's nice to have you here, even though I think you're on duster's duty. So, having said that, if you want more help with cravings, the challenge is starting on Monday the 21st. You can join that challenge at pimjohnson.com/challenge, or you can just join the regular Facebook group if you want it a bit more relaxed. Just hang out, ask a few questions, maybe hang out with us on Zoom on the weekends, or I do weekly live streams in there as well. Join the group, what is it called? Life Beyond Cravings for Kick-Ass Keto on Facebook. So that's another way that you can do that. Brisket, if not cooked right, is tough. Oh, no dusters. Yeah, I think I've cooked it enough when I've done it. It's just that it's cooked, like cooked through 50 billion times. It's not my cup of tea. Refrigerate them after cooking so they're cold when they go in the freezer and freeze quickly. Preserves the texture best. Okay, cool. I have a question. I'm wondering, like when you cool potatoes, they form like resistant starch. Would sweet potatoes do that as well? I don't think so because they don't have the same texture, but I'm kind of curious because I have no idea. Is fat more important than protein? Um, More important, no. And it depends on like what it is that you're actually asking. So you need an amount of protein to stay healthy, but you also need an amount of fat to stay healthy. So protein is more like if you don't get protein for, let's say, I don't know, a while or not enough of it, your body is going to start to cannibalize itself because it needs proteins to keep things up. If you don't get enough fat, you can probably survive longer because we all have an amount of fat tissue on our bodies that we can use. Having said that, there is something called rabbit starvation, which is when you're just eating protein and no fat. So they're both important and in different proportions. And for different people need more fat. Others do much better with a lot of protein. I'm I'm feeling better eating a lot of fat, and I have like my taste buds tells me that fat is awesome and protein is not so great. So naturally, I want to eat more fat. I don't want to eat a lot of protein because my body is like, well, we had enough of that. The exception is actually if I cut up like raw meat and I just eat it like in cubes with some pesto or even just like some balsamic vinegar or something that has a taste. I can sit and eat them like popcorn. It's like there's no stopping. I can eat a lot more. I can probably eat twice as much if I'm eating the meat raw because my taste buds doesn't tell me that oh, we had enough of that. But any cooked meat, even if it's just like seared on the outside, it gets that satiety signal, and I just don't want any more of it. My cat just drooled on my table in the moment of all that chatting and talking about meat. Excellent. That sounds good. I wish I had the smoker. Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, if meat is smoked, it can be cooked. I don't care. I love smoke. What was the name again for the Facebook group? The Facebook group is Life Beyond Cravings for Kick-Ass Keto. I put it here like that. I'm sorry. I know you said it. It came into my computer room. Turn on the computer by the time I got it turned on, and I forgot what you said. Lol. So yes, this is it. Life Beyond Cravings for Kick-Ass Keto. I think you can probably find it in the description as well. Just a link there to the Facebook group, and you can just click that and join. It might be easier. I think I put them into the live streams as well. Um, no, not the same starch and more sugar which stabilizes in cold temperature. Yeah, that's what I thought. But anyhow, thanks for the answer. Okay, so I think we are done because It just ticked over to 1 hour. It's 9 a.m. and I'm sure Bart has some premiere because he usually does, and I can hear him making coffee. So I assume that something's going on since he's actually up. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, everyone. Thank you a lot for the super chats. Love you all. If you have questions, if you're in the Facebook group, you can ask me there and I will bring it up on the stream. You can also ask me anything in the group and just I'll answer it anyway if you have any questions. And thank you so much for all the questions. I'll see you next week. Bye. Bye, Miss Paprika and March.